Good morning, friends. As you probably saw in the introduction, we are in the midst of some home renovations, big projects, and one of the things that I like to do whenever I feel overwhelmed by house projects is just to really lean into homemaking and that calling that I have in my life. And there's something about it that just brings me peace, and it helps me to just remember that this is but for a moment. And so on this particular morning, I am trying to get up early like I do normally and make the boys something real special, some berry rolls that I've made on here before, I think. But typically, I like to get up around 5:45, and make some coffee, spend some time in the Word and prayer. And unfortunately, the sun is just coming up earlier and earlier, which I love, don't get me wrong, but the boys seem to wake up sooner as well. So I don't quite have as much quiet time, it seems, during these warmer months than I do during the winter months. Alright guys, I am downstairs in my basement because I have so much laundry to catch up on this week. I am super behind, and I think I've told you guys before about our son Gabriel. When he was little, he struggled with eczema. It was horrible all over his body. So one of the things that we decided to do right away was switch to a cleaner detergent. And we've gone through a lot of them over the years, but we recently have landed on Earth Breeze, and we absolutely love this laundry detergent. Let me tell you why it's so amazing. Earth Breeze is a mission-driven, sustainable laundry detergent company founded in 2019, dedicated to revolutionizing how people do laundry while making a positive global impact. Their innovative, eco-friendly laundry sheets are designed to solve multiple environmental challenges. So right off the bat, Earth Breeze eliminates single-use plastic packaging. Most laundry detergents come in a big plastic tub. Instead, Earth Breeze uses cardboard packaging, and it's so much lighter and less heavy than these giant jugs of detergent. And that's another thing, you guys. Earth Breeze reduces the shipping carbon footprint. Their detergent is 21 times lighter than traditional detergent. That is incredible for me as a busy mom. I love how lightweight this product is. Not only that, their detergent sheets are free from harsh chemicals like dyes, parabens, phosphates, preservatives, and they're way easier to use. No mess. There's no measuring. You just use a pre-measured sheet that dissolves in seconds. I feel so much better knowing that I am not exposing myself or my family, my children, to unnecessary toxins. And not only that, but my laundry comes out so fresh and clean. My sister is hooked on Earth Breeze. The first time she saw these things, she signed up, and she absolutely loves this product. If you want a gentler clean without the harsh chemicals, switch to Earth Breeze. They are backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, so you can basically try them risk-free. To get 40% off with your subscription, you can head to my link. It's earthbreeze.com/pine. That's earthbreeze.com/pine, or you can scan the QR code that I'll have here on the screen for you. And again, that's 40% off when you sign up for your Earth Breeze subscription. I will have all of these details down in the description box below so that you can check it out. I recently had someone reach out to me and tell me how much they love using Earth Breeze, and they actually asked about how many sheets that I use per load. And what's awesome is right here on the back of the packaging, they explain all about the pre-measured eco sheets and how much to use for a medium load, a large load, or a heavily soiled load. So everything's right there for you, right on the package. Takes the guesswork out of it, and we've had great success with these. We personally love the fragrance free just because of Gabriel and his sensitive skin, but we just love Earth Breeze, you guys. Head to earthbreeze.com/pine. I know you guys are gonna love this product.
So I'm just going to go ahead and get these cinnamon rolls, or berry rolls, I guess is what they're technically called, into the oven. And while we wait for those to bake, I'm going to make some kefir smoothies. We ferment our own kefir. It's so simple. If you can get some kefir grains, you just add milk and let it sit on your countertop, and it's beautiful kefir the next morning. It tends to ferment quicker in the summertime when the temperatures are warmer than it does in the winter time. But it's one of the easiest ways that our family incorporates, probiotics into our diet. And all I do is just mix it up with some frozen fruit. And actually, I normally add some bananas, and the bananas help to make it a little bit more creamy. And unfortunately, I ran out. So I'm just using frozen fruit and honey today. And it turns into a thicker smoothie. But what I do when I don't have bananas is I just make smoothie bowls. And the boys love it. They think it's a treat. They call it ice cream, and that works for me. Now I am going to go ahead and make a little glaze for these berry rolls with some powdered sugar and some fresh lemon juice. I think it called for some vanilla. I can put the link for this recipe down in the description box. It's so yummy. My kids and husband love this recipe when I make it, and they always talk about how gooey and delicious these berry rolls are. So it doesn't look like a lot of glaze, but it's the perfect amount. And I am just going to pour it over the top here, and my boys are going to enjoy this sweet treat this morning. And like I said, it might seem silly when you feel overwhelmed by whatever is happening in life, to pause and take time to make something homemade like this. But I'm telling you, it helps me so much, and it just reminds me what my calling is, and it brings me so much joy to do things like this.
I thought I would give you guys a quick update here on the bathroom. It has been slow but steady. Mike has been chipping away at it every time he gets an opportunity, but with 4 children, homeschool ministry, it's, you know, it's just gonna be a slow project, but he was able to remove all of the existing tile. He also added cement board to the shower surround, and one exciting change that we decided to make is that he installed an arch above the sink. So he built the framing for it, and then he drywalled around it, and he's been slowly adding mud to this arch. Hopefully, with one more layer of mud, we can move on to wallpaper. Our tile for the flooring has arrived, very exciting, but the tile for the shower ended up being back ordered, and I didn't realize that when I placed the order. So that put us behind a little bit. So we did end up getting our bathtub reglazed. We just found a company that did this, and we were looking at brand new bathtubs, and it was gonna be more expensive to buy a new tub, plus just the hassle of getting this cast iron tub out of here. We went with the reglazing option. And so it was an interesting process. The guy did an excellent job. We're excited about, you know, how fresh and new it looks, and also not having to tear this one out and put a new one in. But we're making progress, and I'm excited to share it with you. I hope this encourages you that, I don't know how many months it's been since we started this, but it's slow going. And for the average person, it's a slow process. It's not something that happens in an hour like you see on HGTV. So anyways, just wanted to share an update there. And then I wanted to talk about our home exterior real quick. All right, guys, so as far as our home exterior is concerned, I think I'm gonna write a whole blog post about this because I've learned so much about paint. And it has been a little bit of a, I hate to use the word stressful, but kind of a frustrating process, because you think you love a paint color on one area of the house and then you switch to a different side of the house and it completely changes. So the front of our home is south facing. So I found a combination that I really loved in the back of the house. Mike tested it. I said, that's the one, let's go for it. It ended up being different than the one I shared with you guys a couple weeks back. That was a whole other thing that I don't know if I want to get into. Real quick, I'll shorten the story. The samples were all labeled wrong. They all got mixed up. I think that my problem is that I talk too much, and I was talking to the lady. She's so sweet and helpful, but I got like, you know, 7 different grays, and I think she's making all these samples and somehow the labels all got mixed up. Anyways, I had to start from scratch with that. Thought I found a combination I liked. Great contrast on the back of the home, but then on the front of the home, almost no contrast. The colors blend into each other because of that bright sunlight with a south-facing home. So anyways, we were testing more colors today. My husband has been so patient with me, and I'm thankful for him. All right, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so you can see the shake is the Rockport gray. The siding is Revere Pewter, and it's probably because of all the shadows on the Revere Pewter that it's very much blending into this color. The contrast is beautiful in the back, but in the front you almost wonder if they're the same color. We're gonna try to, we got this sample, thankfully, and it's Rockport gray, but 25% darker. So we're gonna see if we notice a difference, and hopefully this will be the winner. Let me show you how different it looks in the back of the house. So this is that same combination in the back of the house, and you see a huge contrast here. So you can see how frustrating that is, to think you love 2 colors and then they kind of blend in together on a different side of the house. So anyways, it's pretty interesting stuff, but also kind of frustrating. All right, guys, Mike and I got almost the entire front of the house painted today, which I'm really excited about. So I'm gonna live with this color combination for a while, but I'm just gonna whip something up for dinner real quick. We actually desperately need groceries. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. So I just wanna show you what I'm putting together quick. I have never made this before, but it looked really good. I had some corn tortillas, a whole bunch of them. I had some refried beans. I've got some grass-fed beef that I just added some red onion, some green peppers, and some, like your traditional Mexican type seasonings, cumin, garlic, onion, chili powder. And so on one side of the tortilla, I'm just doing some of this ground beef mixture, salt and pepper too, I threw in there. And then on the other side of the tortilla, I am doing my refried beans. And then I'm just putting cheese right down the center here. It looks a little bit messy. And then I did microwave my tortillas with some wet paper towel. They're still kind of cracking on me, so I don't think my paper towel was quite damp enough. But then I'm just folding them in half, just like this. You can see that. And then I am taking them over here. And I've got some sheet pans here with oil already on them. And I'm just kind of covering each side in oil. And I'm going to bake these at 400 degrees. I should probably preheat my oven for, I think the recipe said 30 to 35 minutes. So we'll see how they turn out. I'm making some pico de gallo. I don't have cilantro, which makes me so sad. I have cilantro essential oil, so I'm going to attempt to use that. But I've got tomatoes, I've got red onion, and then I'm going to make a queso out of coconut milk. I've done this for my sister-in-law before. She can't have dairy. It's so good. So just using what I have, always trying to be resourceful and get creative. But I'm going to finish putting these together and bake them up until they're nice and crispy in the oven. This should work well with kids because then we don't have to assemble a bunch of tacos. But we'll see how it turns out.